I'm Miss Johnson, and I am your new art teacher. And if it's all right with you, I'm going to read you a book.
All right, now we're going to read No Good in Art. No Good in Art. Story by Miriam Cohen. Pictures by Lillian Hoban. When Jim was in kindergarten, the art teacher said, "Dear, your man has no neck." Then she took Jim's brush and said, "You ought to make your grass with thin lines like this." And she painted her grass right on his picture. But in first grade, the class got another art teacher. She asked, "Do you ever think what you want to be when you get big?" Everyone nodded. "How would you like to paint a picture about it?" she asked. "Yes, yes," everyone shouted. Then the first grade set to work. Danny was telling everybody about his picture. "Look, I'm a doctor!" The doctor was all painted white except for his eyeglasses. He was reaching inside a lying down man and pulling things out. "This is his heart. This is his stomach," Danny told the kids. Then he made the doctor pull out 2 big shoes. "These are his galoshes." Willie and George laughed and laughed. Margaret was painting a lady dancing. She had a front and a side and a back head, and sparkles on her whirling dress. It said, "Margaret." "What a good idea to draw 3 heads. That's just the way it looks when you turn very fast," the art teacher said. After the first grade's trip to the museum, Willie drew only pictures of whales. This whale was so big it touched all the edges of the paper. It had special strainer teeth like whales have. Willie painted finback whale on the bottom. "I think Willie is going to be a scientist," said the art teacher. "He knows so much about whales." Sammy made a fire engine driving across the paper. Speed puffs were coming out all around. It was rushing so fast to the fire. At the end of the hook and ladder was Sammy. Louie took a crayon and drew little flowers everywhere. Each flower had a tiny face. Some had kitten faces, some had grandfather faces with whiskers, some wore eyeglasses, some had big noses, some were laughing, and some were crying. "Are you in the picture?" asked the art teacher. Louie pointed to a little face. It was Louie! "What a lovely picture," the art teacher said. Sarah was going to be a lawyer because her mommy was a lawyer. George said, "I'm Starfighter Man and the Dreadable Hunk." Anna Marie was a dentist. There was a little man in her chair. "Drill, drill, drill," she was saying. Only Jim was not painting. Paul said, "Why don't you make a picture?" "I'm no good in art," said Jim. "Yes, you are," said Paul. And Anna Maria told Jim, "Some people are worse than you." "But my grass is too fat. My men don't have necks." Jim hit his head on with his hand. "I don't even know what I want to be." The art teacher heard. She said, "Why don't you paint a picture of something you like to do?" Jim shook his head. But after she had gone to help someone else, he moved his brush in a red circle around the paper. Then he squashed big yellow blots on the red. By mixing yellow and blue, he got green! And he made little green lines next to the yellow and slippery blue all around. Jim kept thinking of more and more ways to make it beautiful. But the art teacher was saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, it's time to clean up. Put your name on your picture and give it to me." Jim hid his picture under the desk and went to clean his brushes. Willie and Sammy looked at one another. They grabbed Jim's picture from under the desk and handed it to the art teacher with their own. When all the pictures were hanging up, lots of kids stayed in front of one. "It's good," they said. "It's pretty. That blue is just like my grandma's dress. I like the green on top of the red. The person used good paint. It's good to use a lot of paint all around, but there's no name. Whose is it?" Willie and Sammy ran to the sink. They pulled Jim to the front of the room. "It's Jim's!" they shouted. What is it, Jim? The kids wanted to know. "It's me eating pizza," Jim said. "Here's the red pizza and the yellow cheese and some green peppers." "I wish I had a pizza," George said. Sarah asked, "But what is Jim going to be?" Willie and Sammy said, "Maybe Jimmy might be an artist." "I think he could be." The art teacher was smiling at Jim. "You're good, Jim," said Paul. Then Jim believed them. There was the beautiful picture, and he had made it.